Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long since I make the video. Today our topic will be related to accounts payable. We will see all the questions related to accounts payable for the interview, and yeah, let's get into that. I hope my screen is visible, and I have opened one of my content which I posted on LinkedIn 2 days back, and this is related to accounts payable interview questions and answer. So we will discuss this, and also we will discuss some more questions after discussing all these questions. So first question is, what is accounts payable? So in this question you can approach like that. You can explain the whole accounts payable process and everything, and you can also signify the importance of accounts payable and how it impacted the cash flow of an organization. You can cover all these points and give a good answer to the interviewer, so he can understand or she can understand that you have the depth knowledge of accounts payable. So let's give it a read. Accounts payable refers to the amount a company owns to its supplier or vendors for goods and services purchased on credit. It represents a liability on the balance sheet, and it is settled by making payment within the agreed credit terms. So, as we are already aware that accounts payable is basically when we make payments to our vendors for the goods and services we have purchased for our business, that is accounts payable. And we do have a credit term and conditions applied in accounts payable, and we have uh, the credit period, like it can be 60 days, 30 days in normal scenario, or it can be more than this as well. So this is basically accounts payable. And you can also give an example. You can, like I am giving you an example that I own a so and so aircraft company, and we purchase fuel for our aeroplane and everything. So that is one of the expense, and I have to pay to my vendors from which I am purchasing the fuels. So that can be a example of accounts payable. So the vendor of the fuel, he can be our uh, a vendor, and we have to pay him. And we have a pro tip as well. You can also mention how AP plays a crucial role in maintaining cash flow and vendor relationship. So this is a real money which you are paying to the vendors. So you should keep in mind that the payment we are making is correct and everything, and this really plays a crucial role in our cash flow and company's cash flow. So please consider this. Now we have a question 2. What are the steps in accounts payable process? So the answer is AP process typically includes the following. First, receiving the invoice from the vendor, and then verifying the invoices detailed against the purchase order and receiving report. And third, approving the invoice for payment, recording the invoice in the accounting system, processing the payment as per agreed term. So this is the basically how we make the payment, and what are the factors we have to keep in mind, what are the factors we have to follow before making the payments. First, we receive the invoices from the vendor. let's suppose that I'm using SAP for processing the invoices. So what I will do, I will verify the invoices against the purchase order. Then I will take the approval for payment, and then we will record the invoice in accounting system. Then we will process the payment as per the terms and condition. As the payment term, it can be 30, it can be 60, it can be 90 as well, depends on the agreement we have with our vendor. Now we have a tip: be sure to highlight your attention to details and how you ensure accuracy in payment. So these are the things you have to tell while giving the interview, that how you ensure that nothing gets missed, and all the factors that needs to be checked, you make sure that everything you are doing is correct. So please highlight your analysis and also the work you do, so he can get a good understanding of how you approach the things and how you are a good problem solver and how you tackle everything. Now we have a question 3. What is three-way match in accounts payable? So before I'm going to give you what is three-way match, I would like to talk about two-way match. So basically two-way match is a match when we ensure that everything which is written on the invoice is matches with the PO. So we have a PO, purchase order, to process the invoices, that is material invoices, and in which we have in PO the quantity and the amount, from which we verify from the our invoices that the amount and quantity exact as the PO has its amounts and quantity. And then we have three-way match. In three-way match, basically you have to verify three factors before processing any invoices. So first is our purchase order and invoice, and then we have also goods receipt note. So these three factors we have to make sure that whatever the PO has, like whatever the quantity and purchase PO, purchase order has, same invoice on invoice also it is mentioned, and also it is our matching with our goods receipt note. So these are this is the way you can match the invoices in three-way. And we have a tip: if you have experience in handling three-way match, mention. Yeah, so you have worked in three-way match, so you should give an example also, so the interviewer can understand that you have a good knowledge about three-way match. And then we have question 4: how do you handle duplicate invoices? So I'll tell you what I used to do. So I used to also get duplicate invoices. So what happens, sometimes our system gets invoices two times, and because of the invoice number is misplaced, or like there is some digit that is different added, because of that we are not able to identify, but the system identifies it, because the quantity, goods and everything they found is similar. So while you can verify the invoice which is duplicate with the original invoice, you can check all the quantity, goods, bill to ship to address, PO you can also check, and you can also check in the system. So after checking all the things, you will know that if it is a duplicate, then you must delete it from the system, so that we will not make any additional payment to the same vendor. So this is how you can prevent duplicate invoices from getting paid again. Now we have question 5: what is the impact of accounts payable on cash flow. So as we are aware that accounts payable is one of our liability, and when we have to pay to the vendor to get this liability settled, and if we make any kind of additional payment or anything, so that can really hamper our cash flow and we will be in jeopardy. Our company will have less cash flow. So we have to make sure that whatever liability we are paying to the vendor is correct, and we are not paying any additional to our vendors. Let's just read this answer. Accounts payable affects the cash flow statement under operating activity because it is our operational activity which we pay through accounts payable. When AP increases, it means the company is delaying payment, which improves cash flow. On the other hand, a decrease in AP means a company paying off liabilities, reducing cash flow. So this is the way you can prevent any additional or any extra payment to the vendor. I know it is like our cash flow will be higher if we will not pay to the our vendors, but the relationship between the vendor and the company, that will really affect, and our goodwill will be on stake. So that is my point of view, that within the terms and condition we should make the payment to the vendors, and because there are additional charges as well if we do not pay the vendor on time, so it is better to make the payment as per the payment terms and condition. So these are the questions we have discussed. Now we will discuss few more questions. Just give me a moment. So before discussing any further questions, I would really like to request to all of you who is preparing for the interview that these questions are like enough for preparing, although you should also prepare on the journal entry part of accounts payable, that how the general entry is done on by the accounts payable team, so you can answer that correctly. And also you should know about the software you are working on, in and out everything you should know, so that you can explain in the interview that these are the things I do and this is how it is done, and if there is anything goes wrong, then this is how we uh, correct it and processed it again. So these are very important questions which you have to prepare, and do let me know if I have to add any other questions. Although I will add, I'll make the another video because the video is getting too long. So I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much.